Basketball is a strange thing. One day you're watching your team in the NBA Finals with a superstar who seemed destined for greatness. The next, everything falls apart with a single trade that leaves an entire city in shock.
What's going to put us in a good place was Luka's three.
Doncic with the desperation three. Good! And a foul! And a foul! He got it! A spectacular shot by Doncic! The Western Conference champions are the Dallas Mavericks. They're going to the NBA Final.
No one knows when their team's moment will come or go. Every franchise has its own story. But what happens when you finally find the once-in-a-generation player after years of searching, only to see him traded away in his prime?
I did know that Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't quite know it to what level.
You don't do that. That's a career-altering, a franchise-altering move.
It sounds crazy, but no one tells you what chasing NBA glory really costs until it's too late. This is the story of how the Dallas Mavericks rose to the top, lost everything, and somehow found their way back to hope. Don't forget to leave me a like and subscribe if you rock with this type of content. It was draft night, 2018. The Atlanta Hawks picked Luka Doncic, 3rd overall, but Dallas had a plan. They traded their 5th pick and a future first rounder to get him, a move that would go down as one of the best trades ever made. But here's the thing about great trades. They only matter if you can build something special with what you get. In just his 7th game, Luka dropped 31 points on the Spurs. This wasn't just talent. It was that rare ability to take over games that only the greats have.
Here's a switch. It's Luka against Josh Richardson. Left side of the floor. Luka's three. It's a ring.
Going to get down.
And that was the moment Dallas knew. This wasn't just another good player. This was someone who could change everything. By his 3rd season, Luka was already one of the best players in the NBA. The numbers were insane. 28 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists per game. But watching him play told you even more. He had that special something that just can't be taught. Then came December 27th, 2022, a night that no one in Dallas will ever forget.
Nothing shocks me about this game.
And that drew rim. It's still loose. Luka got it back. He did it. An improbable comeback by Dallas to tie it with 1 second left.
60 points, 21 rebounds, 10 assists. The first 60-20 game in NBA history at just 23 years old.
That vibrated that everybody is expendable. Look at it, man, nobody in basketball world would ever thought that was right? A player, not only a face of the league, but a player for the next 15 years that they will have never been able to get.
But here's where it gets interesting. Having a superstar isn't enough. You need to build around them. You need the right pieces. That's when GM Nico Harrison made his first big move, trading for Kyrie Irving. A risky decision, but one that would transform the team's ceiling.
You've had the magic touch. How gratifying is that from a professional and personal standpoint for you, Nico?
Nah, you know what? It feels really good, but most importantly, I feel good for Jason Kidd. I feel good for the team, and we've really built something here. We got a great culture.
At the same time, everybody, that's Luka. You know, he's always able to make tough shots. Again, Picasso, when you give him the paintbrush, he's going to do something special, and that shot was pretty special.
But sometimes, the highest peak comes right before the steepest fall.
I couldn't believe it. I'm still somewhat thinking it's a hack. It's really hard to fathom the thought process from moving on from Luka Doncic.
This is the worst trade of all time in Dallas history. Dude, it feels like you cannot name me a worse trade than this one.
The reaction wasn't anger. It wasn't even shock. It was pure confusion.
Take everybody through everything they need to know. How in the wide, wide world did we get from where we were Saturday morning to where we are now?
Yeah, I mean, I thought my phone was hacked when I got the text messages with the details of the trade.
But it wasn't a hack. It wasn't fake. It was real, and it was about to get even worse.
I've been a master my whole entire life since I've been a baby. This is the worst moment in the history of my life. This is ridiculous. This is crazy, man. We went to the NBA Finals. Why are we trading the best player, the franchise player? How are we trading the franchise player? You went to the NBA Finals. He's supposed to have a statue.
Nico Harrison said Anthony Davis would bring the defense needed to win championships, but it didn't make sense. Vegas immediately cut the Mavericks' odds of winning while making the Lakers the favorites. The question everyone was asking, why would they trade a 25-year-old superstar for a 32-year-old with injury history? What did Nico Harrison see that nobody else could? What most fans didn't know was that Nico Harrison's background. Before becoming the Mavs GM, he spent 19 years at Nike, working closely with Kobe Bryant as his primary representative. If you think of Nico's standard, it wasn't just any NBA player. It was Kobe Bryant, a player whose legendary work ethic and conditioning were just unmatched. Behind closed doors, Nico Harrison had concerns about Luka's conditioning and off-court habits. Despite Luka's incredible performances, Nico believed his lifestyle would eventually limit his ceiling. But if you thought that was bad, what happened next would test even the most loyal fans. The damage went beyond the court. The Mavericks lost 700,000 Instagram followers overnight. Season ticket holders wanted refunds, and the team became a joke on social media. Then the injuries started piling up. AD went down with an abdominal strain, proving Charles Barkley's nickname street clothes. Daniel Gafford sprained his knee soon after, and then came the moment that broke what was left on the team spirit. Kyrie Irving tore his ACL after leading the NBA in minutes played post-trade.
I heard AJ call him the best paint scorer in the league.
That is obviously a major concern, what's going on right now.
Just like Kobe Bryant, who tore his Achilles after leading the league in minutes, Kyrie pushed his body too far trying to save a sinking ship. But here's the part that really hurt. Meanwhile, Luka was thriving in Los Angeles. On February 25th, he got his first triple-double as a Laker, against Dallas. The Lakers won 8 straight games and suddenly looked like title contenders, and just when fans thought it couldn't get worse. In the middle of all the chaos, the team raised its ticket prices by 8.61%. Fans were leaving, hope was gone. It seemed like the franchise might take years to recover. And in a twist that few connected to the Mavericks situation, even Mark Cuban, who had sold majority ownership but still owned 27% of the team, was devastated. But to understand what was really happening, you need to know who was actually calling the shots in Dallas. And it seemed like rock bottom. But in sports, sometimes the darkest moments come right before an unexpected light. With just a 1.8% chance, yes, only 1.8%.
The second pick will be made by the San Antonio Spurs, and that means that the number 1 pick in the 2025 NBA draft goes to the Dallas Mavericks.
The Mavericks won the draft lottery. It was like hitting that basketball parlay when you needed it the most. But this wasn't just any draft. This was a draft with a prospect that scouts were calling generational.
They've just got to do little things better here and there to turn the L's into W's. Right down the lane for the slam.
The same goes back to Flagg. Flagg on the attack. Slams it down. And two-hand stop.
Cooper Flagg, a defensive monster, a skilled offensive player, a basketball genius. The kind of prospect teams tank entire seasons for. And Dallas got him with a 1.8% chance. A statistical miracle that changed everything. And some would even suggest it was just way too convenient. The same pattern had happened before. Teams that trade stars to Los Angeles mysteriously winning the lottery afterwards. The Pelicans got the number 1 pick after trading Anthony Davis to the Lakers. Now Dallas after trading Luka. Overnight, everything changed. Fans who would have burned jerseys were back. People who had given up suddenly talked about the future again.
I mean, how do you put that in perspective of what has transpired?
It just feels like a reversal of fortune, like of epic proportions to us in Dallas. I'm so happy.
But the lottery win wasn't the only piece of good news. At the same time, Anthony Davis was getting healthy. Kyrie's rehab was going well. Now the Mavericks have options. Draft Cooper Flagg and build around him, AD, and a returning Kyrie. Or trade the pick for another star. Either way, the future looked bright again. But here's what makes this story so fascinating.
Here's Lively running the floor. There's AD. Hammers it home.
Irving by Anderson. Chiseling. Firing up a shot.
Rebound, so it meant the ball just went out of bounds and they kept it.
And Flagg just drove it about 40 feet.
Cooper Flagg fits perfectly at power forward or small forward. Exactly what this team needs. Kyrie at the point guard and AD protecting the rim. The pieces suddenly make sense together. It's like the trade and the lottery win were 2 parts of the same plan. Like there was a method to the madness all along. This is what makes basketball special. How quickly things can change. How one moment can transform a franchise's future. But the most important question remains: what happens next? The Dallas Mavericks aren't just any team. They're part of the city's identity. The connection between fans and the franchise runs deep, through good times and bad.
Picked off. Flagg on the attack with the slam and a foul. Flagg. No, and the putback jam.
No one knows exactly what comes next. Maybe Cooper Flagg becomes the next Dirk. I'm always someone who says Cooper Flagg will become the next Cooper Flagg. And maybe the pick brings in another established star. But for the first time in months, there's real hope. And that's the thing about hope in basketball. It can disappear in an instant, but it can also return just as quickly. The rise was thrilling. The fall was painful. But the rebirth, that might be the most exciting chapter yet. Basketball teams, like the players who wear their jerseys, rarely follow a straight path. They stumble. They make mistakes. They hit rock bottom. But sometimes through the mix of luck and timing, they find their way back. The Dallas Mavericks story isn't over. It might just be getting to the good part. If you made it this far, leave me a like and subscribe if you rock with this type of content. We'll be covering all things NBA. Peace.